pals, Neri here from Drakewing Gaming. There's something to me on Twitter, the Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming back at you with a Let's Play episode of Dawntide. Man, I love the music for this game. It really hits me right in the heart. All kinds of feels, y'all. All kinds of feels. God, I hope this story has a happy ending. I really do. All these characters deserve it. They're so great. But anyway, y'all, let's go ahead and jump right back in, shall we? Alarm saying we're up, and let's go. Alright. I sit across from Ranzo on the sofa. Oh, one second now. A plate of mixed biscuits waits for us on a walnut and glass coffee table. Ranzo already has a biscuit in hand. Agnes's arrival is announced by the clinking of cups on a tray. How do you like your tea, Riley? I've never really liked tea. A bit of milk, one sugar, thank you. Agnes starts to pour out 3 cups. I see Danny's wasted no time getting to the biscuits. Ranzo speaks between crunches. What else are they there for? Aren't you having any, Riley? 3 kinds of biscuits sit before you. Whatever you choose will surely alter your life path irrevocably, and say something immutable about you as a person. I reach forward and pick up a biscuit, sandwich-like with a pale cream center. Traditional and dependable, a good safe choice. Living Dan's favorite for him, I see. Ranzo is halfway through the bite of the jam one. Agnes passes my tea to me before passing another to Ranzo. Thanks again. Not a problem, my dear. So tell me, how was the trip over? Wasn't easy. We had some stormy weather out of the bay and a radio outage. It was alright across the main way, but a lot of long shifts on approach because of the weather. I always worry when you talk about storms. That's why I didn't tell you about it till now. It looked like you had a lovely weather before you left, though. Yeah, it's been nice living somewhere warmer for a while. The food out there is really nice. It's right on the border, so you get a lot of mixed together stuff. You'd love it. Next time you go out there, I'll stow away and you can take me along. How have things been here? Well, aside from the plans lately, Not much to say. I did some gardening for Mrs. Roseville recently. Sal's mum? Yes, lovely place she has. Shame they keep it all behind a wall. I think it makes it nicer for those who get to see it. A proper hidden garden. The tea in their cups is all but run down. Mine is still about halfway finished. A timer beeps from behind the oven over in the kitchen. Agnes places her cup down and stands. Sorry, boys, I've got to see to dinner. I should get my stuff put upstairs, too. You coming, Riley? Sure. I place my cup down, tea still swaying it, and follow Ranzo to the stairs. Ranzo's room feels practically untouched. The stale air is pushed around by our presence. It's just as I remember it. It's been waiting for someone to return. Floor! Ranzo slings his bag down on the desk and stands beside the bed. No place like home, right? His gaze flows around the room, his eyes tracking over every spot. His chest lifts with the expectation to laugh before deflating as air whistles through his nostrils. You alright? He pauses. All good. He starts taking some things out of his bag, setting them down in an orderly fashion on the table. I feel a buzz in my pocket. Sal's calling. Hey, Sal. Hey, Riley. Her voice sways in high tones between breaths. She's walking somewhere. Everything good at Ranzo's? He's not picking up. Phone pressed to my cheek, I turned to Ranzo, smiling. There you go. Water time. Yeah, never does. What? I lower the receiver to address him. Sal's been trying to call you. Oh, sorry, I had it on silent. I bring the phone back to my ear. It's okay. It's not. I was calling to ask if you guys wanted to go to the beach on Saturday. Beach? Been cold, isn't it? Isn't it? Weather's picking up later in the week. Supposed to be in the 20s. I peer out the window to see ripples of wind pushing through the sunflowers. Believe it when I see it. But sure. Beach this week, Ranzo? Sal says it's going to be warmer. Ranzo shrugs happily as he continues emptying his rucksack. Don't see why not. Ranzo's good for it. Amazing. Great. There's a relief in Sal's voice, but she sounds worn out. I make my way to the doorframe and hush my voice. Everything alright with you? Yeah. Just going to Mom and Dad's to get the car. Oh, right. It's good though, just a quick visit. Alright, well, take care. Let's talk about it at the pub. One more thing. Can Ranzo overhear the call? Ranzo continues to stack items on the table. Don't think so. Why? I'm gonna get him a gift from everyone. Congratulations on the promotion. That's nice. Shouldn't be much, but would appreciate if you could chip in a $5. I'll be getting it this afternoon, so if he asks, tell him I'm busy.
Say no more.
Thanks. See ya.
Bye, Sal. Sal's planning away as ever, then. Someone's got to hurt the group, right? Heh, fair, I suppose. Haven't got long here, do we?
I suppose not.
Ranzo's face settles into a warm smile. Best make the most of it, eh?
He lifts a work-hardened hand to rest on my shoulder. His eyes, so restless when we enter the room, stay on mine as if ditched on a shallow bank. Spots of dust hang on sunbeams between us. His thumb rubs above my collarbone. I look up past the wild new hair into eyes I've always known. He looks older.
Dan!
Agnes's voice echoes up the stairs. Ranzo's hand falls from my shoulder. He blinks that look off of his face.
Yes, Mom.
Could you help me peel the potatoes?
Coming.
Yeah, I'll be back in a bit. He pauses for a minute, looks down, scoffs. His head dips towards his chest as he moves past me. As he heads down the stairs, I'm left in the room alone. I wander around it, taking in its silence between the creaking floorboards. My eyes fall over objects which stick out like pins on a board, holding memories in place. Game console. A gray superdrive sits below a television with a bulging black screen that distorts the room with it. Both are a few generations old. I remember sitting with Ranzo taking turns on the platformers. One day his dad bought him a co-op shooter. He didn't get a second controller though, so I had to bring my own. Never finished it. Festival poster. The poster shows a sunrise over dark hills, blending down to a cluster of stars. In front of them are the names of performers and categories divided by genre. It's vandalized with a whiteout marker in various spots. A string of eyes across over the main stage artists. In one corner, a cock ejaculates. What? Oh, God. I see it now. Between swirly squiggles, names are written beside ambient tint. Someone has written K-hole corner. Check it out. Oh, sweet, delicious water. Alright. A little brown mandolin rests on the stand. Like many things in the room, it looks freshly dusted, though the deep cracks in the wood are fuzzy with gray. Running a claw along the strings, they whimper out a lazy cacophony. It needs tuning. Think back to Ranzo strumming at it in the old music room in school we used for rehearsals. CD. No way. The CD is one of those burnable ones you used to get at stationery shops. It's in permanent markers written Siren Demo Tracks. Remind me why spelled with a Y? Copyright. Already another band called Siren. It sounds more mythological. I press play. A few barely audible components rustle in the machine. An MP3 file rattles through tinny speakers, but the sound is full in my head. Ranzo strums his mandolin and leads the vocal charge. He was so proud of this one. Remember when he first came to practice with it. Hey, this sounds pretty good. Marin shreds her heart out on the guitar. Her solo was unnecessarily complicated. It rarely went smoothly at a gig. She'd blame it on Joe drumming too fast. It was so hard trying to get the drum kit recorded. I think Joe ended up doing most of it on the computer. Added some harmony vocals too. I pluck a simple tune on the bass strings. Wonder if I could still play it. Shut that idea down right now. Oh, I can't believe this still exists. When we got rid of all the old things, I thought I'd never hear it again. Make sure to get a copy. It's nice of him to have kept it all this time. Those lyrics, though, they're pretty cheesy. Yeah, but teenage angst has its charm. Nope, definitely too embarrassing. Enough of that. Move on. I sit down on the bed, feeling the quilt on my palms. I have a look at what Ranzo's been unpacking. By his bag, there are a few things laid squarely on the desk. A clear wash bag holding some decurling product, a comb and matte clay, a separate wash bag beside it, presumably containing the usuals, a wallet. The wallet rests on something, a small blue book. I edge forward, sliding the wallet from off the top. The book is a deep navy, unmarked and unnamed, a thin strap wrapped twice around it, tight. This is something private. I turn it in my hands. It's about the size of my palm. It looks unwilling to open, but that entices you more. My thumb itches against the neat little bow. Oh dear, I wonder what will happen. I curl the strap around one finger and tug on it. The knot unspools. The pages breathe open, scored through the center by the imprint of their restraints. I'm struck with the feeling that I'm trespassing. It could be just a daily planner, something to keep recipes in, right? Right. Even if it is, it It's still his. And yet here you are. My thumb burrows slowly between the pages. The strap hangs limp, swaying powerlessly as my claw runs up the inner spine. Paper spreads in its wake. It's dry and wrinkled. Spots of discoloration, parts where the ink bleeds out. Each corner is dated by hand. Terrible handwriting. Definitely Ranzo's. Had to be a diary, didn't it? I tried to keep my eyes from reading full sentences, but they're drawn to certain words. Something happened in 12:04:15 that was hard with him. Maybe Ranzo was hard for him. 12:04:15. He's had it at least a year then. I pressed into a space where the pages naturally part, further towards the front. Turning them over, I see another date, nearly 4 years ago. Turning them over, I see another date, nearly 4 years ago. It's only about 6 pages back. If it's a diary, he hasn't been keeping it very frequently. I'm leaving next week. I'm nervous. I feel stupid, but I thought I'd write to you here. Hope you don't mind. I have a friend I want to talk to before I go, but I don't know how to do it without messing things up even more than they are. How'd you feel before you set off? Did it get easier each time? How'd you say goodbye? There's a tightness under my eyes that trails to the nape of my neck. Peering into a moment never meant to be seen. Hearing words never meant for me. But who were they meant for? It's only now I see what's missing. The spine is bedded with coarse ridges where a good number of pages have been torn out. Do you think he knew you'd look? I flip backwards. Some pages remain as halves. They're ripped out quickly. To hide something? Fragments of words in a different hand. The loops are smaller, more uniform. The tall letters lean eagerly right, italicized with practiced tension. Finally, a whole page. Pencil, ghostly pale. Their letters would have likely faded entirely if they hadn't been written so firmly. April 14th, 1966? I fear a new passenger has led to disagreement aboard. Dried from the waves, he's now undergoing examination. I believe it's best to keep him separate from the crew. The superstition of sailors is something easily stirred. I admit the man's appearance has roused my quiet faith as well. He sounds educated. Antiquated, even for the 60s. He's someone decisive, in charge, but nervous. His coat calls my dear Beth to mind. The crook of his beak reminds me of Lanner. I wish it didn't. If angels do exist, this one has been sent for my sins between the both of them. A fingertip brushes over some letters embossed in the cover's hide. I turn to see what it says. Stamped into the page. Captain Lorenzo Levant. I hear distant footsteps climbing the stairs. I snap the book shut, whipping the strap back around. Footsteps reach the landing. Shit! Take it now. Now that's weird. My hands shake as I try to pull a bow together. Reverberations beneath my feet that a particularly creaky floorboard. He's by the door. My nail keeps catching on the bow. It's untidy, but it's... Sorry about that. Mum wanted to hear some more stories. Hope you've not been bored up here. I stand beside the window, my back turned to the sunflowers that stare in from outside. It's fine, I've just been, looking around. The diary lays on the table, covered by the wallet. Ranzo walks over to me. You sure? You look tense. I shake my head and smile. No, just taking it all in. Been a while. Sure has. He turns towards the table, his eyes fixed on the wallet. He squints. Oh no. Don't notice. He reaches down, turns the wallet into place. This is why you don't go through people's private things! His fingers tap the book twice. Flicking the wallet up into his hand, he turns to me in one motion. You're so unbelievably fucked. You want to get lunch out in a bit? Sure. Mom needs us to move some things out of the garage, but we could go to Falls for a pastry after. Oh yeah, you've not had one. You've not had one since you got back, have you? It needs fixing. The garage seems to be the only part of the house left untidied. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and party right there. I'm going to go ahead and pause it right there. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell. Hopefully I didn't mess my Ranzo path up by spying on his journal. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. I'm going to give a quick shout out to our lovely bronze tier patrons. Thank you all for all you do for the channel. We greatly appreciate your support. Thank you to our silver tier patron, Cade Silverman. Thank you for going a bit above and beyond. It's greatly appreciated. Thank you to our gold tier patron, Amr. You're awesome. We love you. Thank you for subbing to your ultimate tier. Anyway, if y'all want to get your names in the credits, get access to our not safe for work contents as little as $5. Alrighty, I love you all, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.